Story 1. I'm so bad at directions. If you told me to go anywhere, I'll probably get lost even with the global positioning system. I can't even figure out how to get out of the parking lot sometimes. Story 2. Being an adult, keeping everything organized, doing things other grown-ups do, being responsible. I sometimes feel like a clueless 12-year-old trapped in a 40-something woman's body. I look at other people my age and they just seem to have it all together while I feel like a failure. Story 3. Keeping up with friendships with phones. I hate texting, and I hate having to be accessible 24/7 just because I own a phone. I need a lot of alone time, and texting feels like a drain regardless. I like using my phone to make in-person plans with my friends, but I've lost friendships because people get upset it takes me a long time to respond by phone. Story 4. I am comically, geologically, or geographically challenged. I have no sense of direction. I have to use Google Maps turn-by-turn voice guidance to get to and from places I've been to dozens, if not hundreds of times. If someone expects me to try getting anywhere and back without my phone giving me turn-by-turn directions, I will get lost. I hate it. I'm reasonably bright otherwise, so I don't know why I'm so especially horrific with this. Story 5. Reading between the lines and interpreting things unsaid or dealing with indecision when I know that the person I am speaking to wants something and won't express it. Some things are easy, like I am making one. Do you want one? Yes or no, not I don't know, maybe I will later, or if you want to make two, I guess. Story 6. Giving a damn. I'm so depressed and apathetic to everything. Unemployed. Father passed 4 years ago. Mother passed 1 month ago. Bald. Fat. Pre-diabetic, middle-aged, living alone in the middle of nowhere. Big empty house. The only thing that keeps me going is medications and the prospect that maybe one day it will be better. Story 7. Identifying cars. Oh, I'm outside in a red Nissan. Oh, I'm in a 2012 Buick. I'm driving a white Ford F-150, and I'm piloting the damn United States ship Enterprise. Give me some identifying details other than what breed of car you're driving. Story 8. Cooking rice without a rice cooker. I followed my mother's recipe while having her on the phone, mimicking what she does down to the last-minute detail, and my rice still ends up too soggy or undercooked or even, paradoxically, both. Story 9. Being confident and paying attention. My brain does not work the same since I got sick almost 5 years ago. I went through traumatic brain injury therapy and treatment, but my focus never fully returned. Fully hearing what people say and understanding what is said is still extremely difficult. It has caused issues in my personal relationships, but I cannot control it, so I'm learning to accept that I'm just not going to ever be good at it. It's not going to be okay for everyone around me, and that's okay. I will learn to cope. Story 10. Sleeping. I have to get up at 5 a.m. for work. Even on a weekend, I'll stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning, and my body wakes me up at 5 every time. Once I wake up, it's game over, and I have to start my day. I'd give anything to sleep in just once. Story 11. Any sort of do-it-yourself home improvement task that involves any liquid-adjacent substance, such as grout, glue, caulk, or spackle, always results in a huge mess and looks bad. Story 12. Honestly, keeping my mouth shut when I see things happening that I feel are wrong, like why should I even care? If it's not affecting me, I should just butt out. Story 13. Typing. I write books. 6 of them on Amazon, 3 moldering in the closet because that's what they deserve. Over 500,000 words. But I still can't type for anything. Story 14. Finding a date. Dating applications don't work for me, and I'm not confident enough to ask a stranger for a date in person. I've accepted I'm going to die alone. Story 15. Being organized, I kind of wing it with whatever I have. I can't do this forever. I need to plan, to calculate the risk, and take my time, yet execute it in a timely manner. Story 16. Dishes. I've often left dishes sitting around my kitchen sink for 2 months. I make sure to rinse them out at least when I initially use them, just so they don't get moldy and gross. But still. Story 17. Living my life. I often feel like my existence doesn't matter, so I have a hard time living life properly as I should. I have no dreams, no social life, and I haven't talked to a person that's not family in months. I have no friends and no real desire to make some. I spend all my days at home, cleaning and reading. Basically, if I died tomorrow, it wouldn't make a difference to me. Story 18. Understanding if someone is hitting on me. I have been told that many girls have tried, and I totally didn't see it. Even some guys have tried hitting on me, and I still didn't see it. I just can't ever tell. Story 19. Remembering names? I'm so bad I'm like Dory from Finding Nemo. People tell me their name, and 10 minutes later, I'm sorry, what was your name again? I feel worse because people always remember my name. Plus, I have a bad sense of direction. I'd get lost walking in a circle. I'm just hopeless with that. Story 20. Hanging a picture on the wall. I spend 20 minutes measuring, testing, leveling, testing some more, stepping back, looking, taking my time, and it's crooked. Story 21. Singing. So bad I can't even softly sing along with Happy Birthday song because it's so off-pitch. I can read music, play the basics on instruments, hear harmony and pitch. I have taken singing classes. Cannot sing. Story 22. Cleaning consistently. My boyfriend and I have good hygiene, but we are not good at keeping away the clutter in our home. It's been giving me a lot of anxiety lately. Story 23. I am bad at lying to the point where I am just honest about everything because I cannot come up with the smallest lie to save my life. I have been told it is written on my face when I lie, so there is that. Story 24. Painting a room inside a house. I try to be as tidy as possible, but I will see a drop of paint on my shoe or something, and pretty soon, it's everywhere. Story 25. Any do-it-yourself. I can't put up a shelf, hang wallpaper, or build flat-pack furniture. None of it. I have tried and failed so many times that I've decided when I buy a house, I'm paying a professional to do everything. Otherwise, it will look like a blind toddler has bulldozed through the place. Story 26. Penmanship. My hands spasm in certain configurations, probably from that big accident I had as a kid. Good thing I was just old enough for computer science to be an option. Story 27. Actually acting on the 1,000 business or make money ideas. Ironic that I have no issue whatsoever pitching them to people that surround me and them benefiting from them. I guess in my head, as long as someone gets something out of them, it's okay. Story 28. I'm really bad at guessing puzzles on Wheel of Fortune. I'm more of a Jeopardy fan anyway, and I do pretty well guessing the answers there, but for some reason I can't guess Wheel of Fortune puzzles until they're like 90% filled in. It's like that part of my brain just doesn't work. Story 29. Horrendous at math, so much so that when I was in elementary school, I was placed in the special class for 30 minutes each day. Excellent student at everything else, almost perfect grades in college. I have as in every class except my one failing grade. Statistics. Story 30. Driving a car. I tried driver's education and took 3 times the normal amount of on-the-road lessons, but I was still horrible at it. There is just so much to focus on, and you have to make decisions so quickly. I have completely given up on trying, and just thinking of giving it another go fills me with so much dread. Story 31. Small crafts. I consume a space-time bending amount of coffee to stay engaged in rabbit hole life, and I absolutely cannot hold reality together long enough to thread a damn needle or manage small pieces of anything. Story 32. Anything my high-masking autistic brain does not want to do. Seriously, it is crippling, but if I have decided not to do something, even as small as taking out the trash, I will get fired before I break. The same thing if I have decided to do something, you could give me a list of 100 reasons why I should never do something and 1 reason why it is good. And I am still going to do it, even if I know it is bad. It is a curse. Story 33. Reading might be an attention deficit hyperactivity disorder thing, but I jump around paragraphs so much. A lot of the time, I end up reading the sentences of a paragraph from bottom to top, and I have no clue why I do this. My theory is that I am too impatient to read the whole paragraph, so I just grab the important bit at the end and then pick up the context clues from the beginning. Story 34. Overcoming a gambling addiction and procrastination. 25 years old, and these 2 things are giving me brain rot. I can't let these 2 things eat away at me my whole life. I won't let it happen. One day at a time. Story 35. Phone calls. I hate phone calls because it's so awkward. I can't gauge their expression, and you always end up interrupting each other. I hate ending phone calls the most because I don't know how to. Story 36. Organizing. I'm an adult, and my clothes are just in piles and drawers of clean going out clothes, skirts, and dresses. I wear more dresses lately, so I don't have to find pants that actually fit or match well. Everything is in big piles. They could be folded, but I can't let myself. Story 37. Forgiving. I hold grudges like it is my job. Worst quality I have by far. I am not loud about it. I am not spiteful or mean about it. I will not retaliate. You will not know I have a grudge against you. I will just shut you out or know in the back of my mind I am holding something against you. It is terrible, and I do not know how to get past it. I chalk it up to getting burned a lot in the past, so it is what it is. Story 38. Driving. I have tried driving a car a few times, and I just can't handle all the multitasking it requires. Luckily, I have not required a license, as public transport and biking work. Work trips at the engineering company are organized in a way that a car is not required. Story 39. Overthinking, socializing, maintaining eye contact, making friends, comparing myself to others, math, expressing my feelings, not being able to tell people no. Story 40. I can fold really cool paper airplanes, make some neat origami, and tie complicated knots with ease, but I cannot wrap a damn Christmas present to save my life. Story 41. Food portions when cooking. For example, about 30 minutes ago, I was making nuggets and chips for my family. There are 3 of us, but we sometimes cook for my mom too, so for. I prepared enough nuggets for 3 and I thought I did enough sides for 3 too. However, I managed to make enough chips and sides for 4, which meant that when I gave them to mom, I hadn't made enough nuggets for 4. So I simultaneously made too much and not enough food. The same thing happens with pasta, rice, sauce, and gravy. Basically anything that requires judgment. Story 42. Disappointing people. Not in a people-pleasing way, but if someone expects something from me, and I deliver anything short of what was agreed on, I struggle with that. Keeps me pretty burnt out, running at 110%. Story 43. Math. Which absolutely sucks because math is like the key language of the universe. But when I look at numbers, my brain goes fuzzy. Oh well. Guess I'll never work for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Story 44. I am really good at cleaning. I am really bad at putting my cleaning supplies away. Bless my husband for always putting away the vacuum, broom, cleaners, and so on. Story 45. Directions, math, positive social interactions, keeping up with responsibilities, handling emotions, pushing brother chairs, similar to wheelchairs, so very bulky. Pursuing ambitions, I am financially irresponsible. Story 46. Making and executing plans. I am 99.9% sure I have undiagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Not bad enough to be outright debilitating, or to get medical professionals to take me seriously, but enough that I am definitely having mental and emotional failure to thrive. Story 47. Honestly, looking at the bigger picture, especially when it comes to others, sometimes I think I get all big-brained and say, but think of the bigger picture, when in reality, I often use it as an excuse to put something off or just not do it. It's a combination of being selfish and lazy. Story 48. If a video game has lots of different options for character builds and classes, I will spend hours, sometimes days, before coming to a decision only to re-roll the character again. I will do this several times until I get so fed up and quit playing the game entirely. Story 49. I have a tough time with elevator buttons. It takes my brain a very long time to compute which ones are the open or close buttons, so I just revert to my foot to keep the door open. I almost lost a shoe lately. That door was not stopping. Story 50. Making friends. I'm 37, and I haven't made a friend for over 10 years. Not for lack of trying, though. I just can't seem to meet anyone who wants to socialize with me more than at work. Story 51. Tying things, ropes, bags, you name it. If you put me in charge of tying all the trash bags in the house, I guarantee the liners will all be smushed down with piles of food and debris going to the top. Story 52. Motivating myself. When I am motivated, I actually get really into it, and I have had a lot of success. But usually, that motivation is because I was doubted or I wanted to prove myself to someone. If I just wanted to do something and dive into it because I wanted to, maybe I would be better off. Story 53. Anything having to do with organization. You can give me a storage unit, dresser, thingy with all the bells and whistles, and I still will have no idea how to efficiently utilize it. I have organizational bins, tools, utility shelves, and still my house is a mess. I need a guided layout and pamphlet on how each feature can be used to organize a variety of items. Otherwise, it is useless for me. Story 54. Job interviews. I have always excelled at on-the-job performance, but getting my foot in the door is the hardest part. I am an introvert, and I am not good at selling myself and freeze up during interviews. Story 55. Supergluing anything always ends up glued to my hand or itself. One time, the item started smoking where the glue was. Anytime I need something glued together, I place it on the counter. Magically, overnight it gets glued together. Maybe by my husband, but probably not. Story 56. Making friends and keeping relationships. Most of the time, I just don't have anything to say. And if someone asks me how I'm doing, I want to say awful, but I don't want to burden someone with how I'm feeling because I always feel terrible. I think I'm only honest with my therapist, but then again, I pay her to listen to me, so there's that. Story 57. Setting things down and remembering where they are. It's a daily occurrence, and I get so desperately annoyed at myself. I just had the thing. Where did I put it? Where is the thing? Story 58. I can't concentrate on my studies, and I can't force myself to sit down and study. When someone explains something to me, I start to fall asleep, or my thoughts drift in another direction. I try to listen, but it sometimes seems that my thoughts live a separate life.